In some parts of the world, Christians have had no choice but to watch the desecration of symbols of faith they hold dear. Indeed, perpetrators of such crimes have used the latest in new media technology to reveal to the world their intent to carry out sacrilegious acts. Crosses being smashed, icons defaced, statues thrown down and altars reduced to rubble. The faithful themselves have suffered as never before. In June 2014, extremist terror group ISIS, Daesh, seized Mosul, Iraq's second city. Christians had to choose between abandoning their faith or facing the sword. When hundreds of thousands fled into the desert, including many Muslims, bishops lamented that for the first time in more than 1,600 years there was no mass, no Christian services in Mosul. Almost everyone had gone. In Iraq, as in so many other regions, violence and forced displacement has affected every group, irrespective of creed, ethnicity or class. And yet, for the Christians, persecution has become particularly serious. The rise of militant Islamic groups such as Daesh has meant the decline of Christians, not just in Iraq but across the Middle East and Africa. World leaders have increasingly recognized the scale of persecution Christians suffer. In February 2015, 21 Egyptian Coptic Christians were beheaded by Daesh militants in Libya. They had been poor labourers working in the country to send money to their families back home. Their brutal killing was filmed and broadcast to the world, horrifying millions. Pope Tawadros II has since announced that they will be formally recognised as martyrs by the Church. Now, Catholic charity Aid to the Church in Need is releasing a fresh report assessing persecution against Christians in countries of great concern. The report, titled Persecuted and Forgotten, finds that between 2013 and 2015, the situation for many Christians has been catastrophic. The numbers of displaced and refugees have hit an all-time high. The report's findings show that from 2013 to 2015, the number of countries rated as extreme on the scale of persecution jumped from 6 to 10. An exodus of Christians is unfolding. Islamic groups have mounted a program of religiously motivated ethnic cleansing, notably in parts of the Middle East and Africa. The fear of genocide has meant that Christianity is on course to disappear from Iraq, potentially within 5 years, unless emergency help is provided on a massively increased scale. In Syria, up to half the Christian population has fled since the war began in March 2011. The Christian presence is also coming under fire from Islamic extremists in other parts of the world. In Nigeria, 200 girls were abducted in Chibok in April 2014 by terror group Boko Haram in a kidnapping that sparked a worldwide campaign led by people of influence and celebrities. But the Middle East and Africa is not alone in suffering persecution, nor is the problem confined to radical Islam. In Indonesia, a growing Islamist presence has also seen the destruction of churches and the banning of traditional Christian celebrations in some states. In Pakistan, Christians and others are at particular risk from fanatics intent on abusing controversial blasphemy laws. Suspect interpretation of the laws becomes the pretext to legitimise naked aggression. Meantime, pressure grows for the release of Christian Asia Bibi, a mother of 5 who had been put on death row for blasphemy. Christians have also come under pressure from radical branches of Hinduism in India and extremist Judaism in Israel. Totalitarian regimes, including China and North Korea, have put increasing pressures on Christianity, which is perceived as a threat due to its connection with the West. Though the situation worsened for Christians during the time reviewed, small victories were won. In Sudan, Christian woman Maryam Ibrahim was released from jail and cleared of apostasy. A petition for her release was signed by more than 1 million people worldwide in an amazing display of Christian solidarity. The situation of persecution for Christians went from bad to worse during the period under review. Mistreated and abused, vulnerable and often ignored, In some parts of the world, Christians face the outright threat of genocide. Aid to the Church in Need's Persecuted and Forgotten report shines a light on an increasingly disturbing issue of our age. Urgent reading for those of great faith or no faith, it makes clear the situation for Christians, with shocking witness testimony combined with an appeal for action. Only together can we help Christians in need overcome persecution. As the founder of Aid to the Church in Need, Father Verfolgt von Straten said, "They are being tested in faith, we are being tested in love. Let us ensure that persecuted Christians are not forgotten."